So I finally have my hands on the Bonewidow Necramech. Now, the first thing I definitely gotta say, this thing really looks good. Like the look of this thing, the styling, the arms, the legs, like how it looks. I think this definitely looks better than the Void Rig. But of course, Necramechs are not really known for their looks. A lot of people are gonna try to build them for their abilities. So let's see what the abilities are. So the first ability that you have is called the Meat Hook, which is basically you can pick up enemies and throw them. Amazing ability. I don't know. It's a weird ability. I don't know why it exists. Like, they could have done like something else. I don't know. Like they could have done anything else. But what you could do is you could grab an enemy, and I think you can grab more than one, and throw them around. And I don't know what. It's like a niche little thing. I don't know why they did this ability, but yeah, that's the first ability. The second ability is the one ability that everybody's going to be using because that's the only defensive ability that this mech has, which is called the shield. I don't know what it's called. It's the shield one, which what you do with that is you actually get a shield, which can take a number of damage, and then it just goes away, and then you can get it back again. So that's great and all. Now this shield does have damage reflection, which I was actually playing at lower level missions. It actually reflects damage to the enemies, and the enemies are dying pretty quickly at lower levels, but I don't think at higher levels it does anything, because at higher levels enemies have more health and more armor and everything like that. So yeah, that's the third ability. Now the third ability is called firing lines, and what firing line basically does, it forces it, like it's on like a 10-meter radius. Enemies that are around you are forced to be in front of you, and they also get hit with the lifted status effect, which basically lifts the enemies in the air, and they're like kind of flying for a few seconds. So it basically is like a crowd control ability a little bit, so which is kind of nice. I don't know, like it's okay, like it works, and it's kind of like a little bit of crowd control, but yeah, basically that's about it. The fourth ability is, I think, probably going to be the main selling point for this, is the Exalted Sword, that you can pull out anytime as long as you have it ranked up and shit. And I think you can also mod the Exalted Weapon, which is kind of cool. Now, on paper this thing is pretty good, and also like in practice it's probably not going to be that bad. I did not rank it up. I have not ranked up my Bonewidow fully, so I don't really know the damage it does. It's probably going to be, I also saw like they were doing a little bit of fixes on PC, so it's probably going to be kind of close or as similar damage to the Arcubex. So I'm guessing that they're gonna buff this sword up to a point where it kind of one-shots enemies at close range. Now, the main thing is about this, it actually has a drain on it, which, well, it has an energy drain, which you're not gonna be able to use this thing a lot. Like I don't know if the Necramech has like efficiency mod. I think it has like energy efficiency or something. But even with that, I don't think you're gonna be able to use it a lot. Like, I think you're gonna have to mod your Necramech a little bit, like with Forma and shit, and rank it up, which is gonna take ages. But yeah, that's the fourth ability. It's okay. So do I think that Bonewidow is worth it? Now, I would say, as I said in the Void Rig one, I don't think the Necramechs are kind of ready yet. They're doing a lot of hot fixes. They're doing a lot of fixes with Necramechs. They're working on like fixing the abilities. They're reworking a bunch of shit with these Necramechs. So I would say right now, I don't think it's worth having a Necramech. Like, you can have it if you have the resources. If you got the resources, if you got the time to put into these things, it's okay if you have the time, and if you can put the time, it's all I'd say go for it. But other than that, for like normal players that are probably don't really go into open worlds a lot, and I know that they're working on like an operation where you're gonna be able to use these basically in all the missions, which by the way probably gonna have a lot of bugs. So get ready for that on PC. But I don't know. I don't think these are that good. Like they I guess they're kind of cool to have, but I don't think they're kind of in a usable state right now. The ranking up is sucks. Like ranking these up is like a pain unless you do it in a squad, and I don't do ranking up. Like it's like a weird thing. And I don't know. I just don't really know what to do with these things. They're alright for now. They're working on a bunch of fixes and shit to make it, I don't know, a bit better and to kind of rework these things. But I'd say probably hold off from these for now until they come out with hot fixes, and until they come out with a bunch of reworks and shit for these, and they actually kind of become a bit more thing. I was actually thinking if they could actually make these things, if they could like actually fly like Iron Man, that would be a lot better. Like that would make it so much more. That would be so much more fun than that. Like, even if they do the hot fix, if they could make these things fly like Iron Man, I mean, that would be great. Like that would be the best thing. You just flying across the open worlds and just shooting at people. I think that would be better. But I don't know. That's just like a fantasy thing. Probably not gonna be true. Who knows? Maybe it is. Maybe they'll put arcanes on these things. I don't know what they're gonna do. But as I said, right now I don't think these are really worth it, because also you gotta put a bunch of resources in there. And yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, I'd say for now, not really worth it, Necramech. So yeah, that's it.